Exodus 12 verse, what was that, 6, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so go ahead, read that.
Exodus chapter 12 verse 6. And he shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening.
Right, meaning between the two evenings. Alright, this is talking about at 3 o'clock. Now, we just read in the book of Acts, right? Let's go back to the book of Acts. The 10th chapter. And read verse 2 again.
Acts 10 verse 2. A devout man, and one that feared God with all his house, which gave much alms to the people, and prayed to God always.
Right, so he prayed to the Most High always. And when did he pray to the Most High? He prayed to him according to the law, which was evening, morning, and at noon. All right. Now to prove that, let's go to the book of Psalms, 55 verse 16. The book of Psalms 55, the 55th chapter and the 16th verse.
Psalm 55 verse 16. As for me, I will call upon the Most High, and the Lord shall save me. Evening and morning and at noon will I pray, and cry aloud, and he shall hear my voice.
Right. Why were we to pray evening, morning, and at noon? Because this is the time when the priests would send up the incense. So Israel would pray while the incense was going up within the temple. Okay, go to the book of Revelations, the 5th chapter, the 8th verse.
Revelation 5 verse 8. And when he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of them harps and golden vials full of odors, which are the prayers of saints.
Right, which are the prayers of saints. So when the saints would pray, when Israel would pray, our prayers would go up with the incense that was within the temple. And the Most High commanded the Levites to burn certain incense. All right, and they would do this 3 times a day. They would light the incense 3 times a day, evening, morning, and at noon. Give me 8 verse 3. Revelations. And 4. Go ahead.
And another angel came and stood at the altar, having a golden censer, and there were given unto him much incense, that he should offer it with the prayers of all saints upon the golden altar which was before the throne. And the smoke of the incense, which came with the prayers of the saints, ascended up before God unto the angel's hands.
Right. It said, in the smoke of the incense, which came with the prayers of the saints, ascended up before the Father out of the angel's hand. So the Most High, when our prayers go up, they were going up with those incense, with the smoke that was being burnt within the temple, which was being burnt 3 times a day, evening, morning, and at noon. We still throw those prayers up, and if you know brothers that can burn incense or burn frankincense and myrrh, right? We used to burn, what was that thing called? Jerusalem. Mm-hmm. It's an incense you could buy. It's called Jerusalem. You get it at Botanica stores. You know, it got a nice smell to it. So you would throw your prayers up with stuff like that, you know, and you know, that was all based upon, you know, the law and the law as far as the scriptures. Okay, now go to give me the book of Psalms, 141 and 1. Psalms 141 and 1.
Psalm 141 verse 1. Lord, I cry unto thee. Make haste unto me.
Right. And the word there, Lord, is Yahweh. Okay, it says, Yahweh, I cry unto thee, make haste unto me. Right, we hasten the day of the Lord. Go ahead.
Give ear unto my voice when I cry unto thee.
Right, give ear unto my voice when I cry unto thee. Go ahead.
Let my prayer be set forth before thee as incense.
See, let my prayer be set forth before thee as incense. This showing you how Cornelius, why was he praying at this specific time? It wasn't just by it didn't just happen by chance. He prayed because that's when all Israel was praying. All right, all Israel will call. They will have a call to prayer, just like you see the Muslims do when they have their 5 prayers. They will call. They'll have their call to prayer. Don't you know they got all that from us? But we had a call to prayer 3 times a day, and it was when the Levites and the priests would burn incense in the temple. Go ahead.
And the lifting up of my hands as an evening sacrifice.
Right. Hold that. Go. I mean, you can let that go. Go to hold up, in the New Testament. What is it? Luke. Give me the book of Luke. And the first chapter. And you could just start at, we'll go right to the point. Start at the 8th verse.
Luke chapter 1, verse 8. And it came to pass that while he executed the priest's office before the Most High.
Right, this is talking about John the Baptist's father. All right, John the Baptist's father, who was a priest of the Abaya, what they call it, the Abaya lot, or the Abaya course. All right, Zachariah, his name was Zacharias, and he was of the Abaya course, which the course of Abaya, his lot was to burn incense. Go ahead.
In the order of his course, according to the custom of the priest's office. His lot was to burn incense when he went into the temple of the Lord.
Right, his lot was to burn the incense. Read.
And the whole multitude of the people were praying without at the time of incense.
Right, because this is why the priests will wear bells on their garments. So that way the people that was without the temple, Israel that was without the temple, they would listen for the bells of the priests. So when the priests, like Zacharias, when they would listen for him to be walking around in the temple, knowing that, okay, there's movement within the temple. Once they heard that there was movement in the temple, they knew the incense was about to be lit. It was about to begin to go up. So they would begin their prayers. Go ahead.
And there appeared unto him an angel of the Lord.
That's good right there. I just wanted to show you how Israel was standing without the temple, waiting for the incense to be burnt. Go to the book of Nehemiah, the 1st chapter, the 6th verse. And you know, I have a lot of notes on this subject. I just haven't, me and this brother, we just said, you know what, let's do some shows today, and we just got together. So I didn't. I haven't went over these notes in since the last time I taught them, basically. And I don't teach this class all the time because the brothers that I already broke this down to them. So it's like, but so some of the notes that I have on it, I have to like refresh in my mind, Go ahead, 1 verse 6. And sometimes like I was saying earlier, when you deal with, you got to learn the idioms, you got to learn the custom of the people, of our forefathers, and try to try to put the pieces of the puzzle together as far as what the scriptures are really trying to convey to you. Because, you know, when you read certain scriptures, you can't go based upon today's terminologies or today's traditions, right? You have to understand the culture of ancient Israel at that time. Like, for instance, right, when, you know, while the brothers finding the scriptures, I'll just share this with you. When you go into, what is it? Is it John the 8th chapter, I believe it is. And I believe it's there. But when he goes into how, if you would ask me, I will give you living water, right? When he's talking to, not when he's talking to the woman by the well, the scripture when he's talking to Israel, and he says, if you would ask me, I will give you living water. And what he's referring to in that scripture right now, if you read that whole scenario, and this was dealing with, if I can find, I'm gonna see if I can find that scripture. But that whole scenario, right, was during the Feast of Tabernacles. Okay, now during the Feast of Tabernacles, they had certain things like Israel did. It wasn't just a Feast of Tabernacles. They just went into and dwelt in booths. No, they had ceremonies and like one of the ceremonies was the priests would they would have a golden, I believe it was a gold bowl. You ever heard of that? A gold, in the history, they would have a gold bowl and I think a silver bowl, right? And they would actually, I believe it was 3 bowls. I gotta, don't quote me. I'm just going off the dome, but I've read all this in the history. But they would actually take the bowls, right, from the temple, the priests, and it would be a caravan of priests, and then they would walk to the Jordan River, and it was like a parade. You understand? And they would walk to the Jordan River, and matter of fact, I think it was 2 bowls. They would fill one up. All right, don't quote me on this, but they would fill the bowls up, and then they would bring the water back. This is how they would purify the temple, or purify the altar. And one of the bowls had a hole in it. So they would pour the water into the bowl, and then the bowl, the water will go all over the altar. You know what I'm saying? And I think they did this like 7 times or something like that. Wow. You know what I'm saying? And I gotta refresh my mind as far as that history, but you could look that up. So while they was doing, there was certain customs or certain ceremonies that was going on during the Feast of Tabernacles. And this is what Yahweh Shai was alluding to when he was saying, the water I give you, you know, if you drink of this water, you never gonna thirst again. Because remember, these customs went back, all these customs really went back to agriculture. So during the Feast of the Tabernacles, they would take the water. It wasn't just for purification. It was to ask the Most High to continually bless them with water so they could grow their crops. You know? So a lot of this stuff was dealing with, like I said, agriculture. All right? But you found that scripture? Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, read Nehemiah 1 verse 6.
Nehemiah chapter 1 verse 6. Let thine ear now be attentive, and thine eyes open, that thou mayest hear the prayer of thy servant, which I pray before thee now, day and night, for the children of Israel, thy servants.
Right. That I pray. It says, let thine ear hear, let thine ear now be attentive, and thine eyes open, that thou mayest hear the prayer of thy servant. Right, that's, you know, when you pray to the Most High, you know, you ask the Most High to hear your prayer. That's why we ask the Most High to hear our prayer through Christ, through Yahweh Shai. Okay? Without him, number one, the Most